Hi there, and welcome to Marble Halls TV. I'm doing something very different than the norm. Um, this is going to be like a review of Arsenal versus Benfica, and you know what? I'm just playing a quick game of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Uh, some of you might already have it. Some of you might already be familiar with the series. Um, I'm kind of a quarter way through it, but I'm enjoying it. It's a good game. I'm playing this on PC, but to be honest, I'm a bit of a history buff, especially of this era of English history. So it's historical fictional, so you can't expect to be 100% accurate, but um, all the same, I think it is a very good. Look, graphically, it's good.
Aid me, be my eyes.
Um, and yeah, it does capture the feel of like that era, like in history. But I'm not here to discuss the game really. I'm just here to discuss damn, the wrong direction. Uh, I just need to get my bearings on. I will start discussing the game very soon. Um, yeah, game warmer.
If I find one crack, that statue is as fragile as the rest of my collection and costs more than the hovel you call a hen.
I have a friend who needs that little Roman man you have. Octavian of London.
I've a guess who your friend is. And no, Osbert cannot have his greasy pedestrian fingers on something so exquisite.
Osbert?
Oh, that is delicious. Yes, Osbert. A name fit for a poor failure. It'll cost a cow's weight in silver to get it in his hands.
I'll give you the filthy silver.
Oh, that is... Thank you. Well, I should hope so. You may take.
What am I doing? Sorry, I apologise for that.
I'll have to take this back to Osbert.
Was that it? That's pretty simple. But yeah, to discuss the game then. The lineup I thought was reasonable. Um, you know, you put Willian on the bench, and I'll talk a bit more about Willian in times to come. But you know, other than that, I thought you can afford for the lineup. However, the um, the performance, I've seen some people online say, "Oh well, it was a shit performance." Look, it wasn't classic Arsenal. Let's be frank, but it was a game that I think we did deserve to win on the basis of chances. Um, if I had to grade the performance in itself, I'd probably say maybe a 5.5, probably a 6. Because we did have possession, but we didn't really capitalise on it. And Benfica really, yes, they got 2 goals, but one was from a defensive error. The other was a highly well executed free kick. And one even could argue we shouldn't have fouled the player. But I think over the both legs, I think we did try to play the better football. And that is, I think, well done. You have to show we showed the bottle after going 2-1 down. Now, as for the opening parts up to our goal, again, I thought we did well. Well, not did well, but I think Saka's through ball, I'll speak a bit about Saka in a little while. Saka's through ball to Alba was excellent. Alba finished expertly. And yeah, I think overall, the only thing about the first half is that we probably didn't exert ourselves on the game that we could have, or to the extent that we could have. But other than that, I thought it was okay. The only negative really was that we did concede that goal towards the end of the first half, and I was fearing for the worst a bit because I thought Benfica, I had a suspicion that we could score, but then I thought Benfica could really turn the screw, and to be honest, it didn't really.
Octavian, I have something that may interest you. Maximilian sends his regards.
What? He gave this to you? That perfect little wretch. How did he bring himself to part with it?
Ask no questions, hear no lies. I only hope you enjoy it, and that neither of us have to see that man again.
Oh, thank you, Eivor. Thank you.
I will see you later, friend.
Dai dulci fruamini.
So yeah, the negative of the first half really was that, yeah, we didn't really capitalise on the chances not chances, but the possession and control of the ball that we had. Beginning of the second half, I think was to be honest, it was more similar to the first half, but then obviously we gave the error away with Ceballos, which I've seen that again on the highlights. You probably could say David Luiz maybe and Gabriel should have been tighter, because I think, look, the rationale for Ceballos being where he was sound, because their forward man is a bit pacey and tricky. So, but again, I think it's poor decision making.
You and Petra chasing a white elf in the woods high as whiskey.
Ceballos could have headed it square.
I could really use this.
Yeah, he could have headed it square. He could have maybe
Good. This will help the settlement. We always have need for this.
could have headed it square. He could have headed it even forward. Yes, I know their player may have pounced on it.
This would be helpful.
But even still, it would have bided us a bit more time. So, that is a bias for me. Well, I'll be frank, he's not my favourite player in the team. But
this will help us.
Probably not just me, probably for a lot of others. But for me, he's not Real Madrid quality. Definitely, he's certainly not Arsenal quality. So, yeah, but that's as it is really.
Excellent.
As for
nothing else.
What's his name? As for us going into the latter part of the second half, to be honest, I was shitting it that we would bottle it. We wouldn't go through when really we should have had this game for the taking. But
I have to go. See you soon.
Happy hunting.
But
Eivor, darling, how nice to see you.
But yeah, I think you have to say Tierney has to be credited.
Just came to give you a kiss.
Arteta brought Willian on,
Sweet of you, love.
and Willian did try. I don't think he was absolutely rubbish. We did get the assist of sorts for what's his name, and Tierney did well. I think Tierney was very good throughout the game. Defensively,
hey there. How are you?
He was okay, but offensively, I was like, rah. That looks like a wolf, not a dog. Sorry. There's just usually you have like dogs there, but not actual wolves. But yeah, whatever. Willian did well for the assist. Even though overall I don't think he had an outstanding game. But Tierney, for me, Tierney, if there's one criticism of Tierney, I think it is defensively he's not the strongest. He can get rinsed a bit, but offensively, And even, he done it, and I think it's more his energy, his crossing, and his determination. Um, if there's a fullback he reminds me of in terms of his work rate and technical ability or playing style, people may not like this comparison, but it's probably an Ashley Cole, or even, this is a very, very old example, even like a Dennis Earl. Um, you know, both Dennis Irwin and Gary Neville at United, their treble team, and to be, well, not just a treble team, but in that late 90s, early 2000s period. People think of attacking fullbacks as a more modern thing. It's not. Even at Arsenal, Ashley Cole was an attacking fullback. Going back longer, Dixon and Winterburn were. Neville was. I think part of the reason Beckham was able to get those crosses as he did for like Van Nistelrooy and what's his name, York and Cole, was because Beckham had that cover to take away the fullback. Because Beckham really wasn't the strongest, he wasn't the quickest, but he obviously had very good football brain. We made it 2-2, and I think we did deserve the win slightly. I believe when Aubameyang got his brace, Aubameyang could have had a hat trick. I think it was offside, but he definitely could have had a hat trick. And overall, on the balance, I do think we did deserve the win. Being as objective as possible, but
I long to join its crew, one all skalds will herald.
Join your blade to mine. Let ring the sword song this day. All right, bring out my lieutenant. I would like to reorganize the crew.
And I think overall it was pretty decent. I have to say, Saka did very well. Just bear with me, I just need to change this thing. I think really, what's their name? were
I
the
must take my
standout
leave.
players,
So
definitely.
long.
Aubameyang, Tierney and Saka. So player ratings now. I've waffled on them up. So player ratings, I would say Bernardo, the 2 goals he did concede, granted, but I don't think either were his fault. I think it's very, very harsh to suggest that either were his fault. But I'll give him a 6. Hector Bellerin, I'll give I'll give him a 5. I thought yes, we did concede 2 goals, but again, I think it's very harsh to suggest that Hector wasn't at fault for both of those goals. They didn't really rinse him. If they beat him continuously, then yes, I'll say, alright, cool. Hector really fucked up, but I don't think he really did. So for me, um, Hector was alright. Nothing special, but he was alright. So I'll give him a 5. Gabriel and Luis, I don't think they had bad games, to be honest. I generally don't. They weren't rinsed really by their attack, and their attack, it really was pretty impotent for most of the game, I must say. So I would say, I'd say 5 apiece. I'll say 6. Because I think individually they didn't do much wrong. The first goal wasn't their fault. Second goal, they may take a minuscule, or not minuscule, a minority of the blame at best, because yes, you can understand why what's his name? Um, you can understand why it was Ceballos was back there, but again, um, maybe David Luiz should not have been as far up of the pitch, even though you can understand the rationale why Ceballos was back there. He had no choice really. So I'll give them both a 5. Tierney, 9. As I said, defensively wasn't the best really. Yes, I know it didn't really trouble, but for me, offensively, his work rate, his energy, his mentality, 9. Xhaka, 5. He was alright, didn't do much good, didn't do much wrong. Ceballos, I'm tempted to give a minus, but for me, 0. Even without the mistake, he was very anonymous, or ineffectual, I would say. But with that mistake, okay, without the mistake, I would give him probably a 3, maybe a 4 if I'm being generous, but for what's his name, my mastic is 0. Saka, 9. Not my man of the match, incidentally, but for me, this kid has it, and if we're shit for the next few years, bruv, he could be another, dare I say, another Chelsea player, dare I say, another fucking City, Arsenal to City, or United, or even Liverpool, or even like a PSG, like a Real Madrid, Barca, Juve, Inter, Bayern. He can be top levels. Bukayo Saka is what, 19? He's already got what, 4 England caps, bruv. He can get 100 England caps, I reckon. I honestly reckon that. And if my man lights up the Euros, or not lights up, but has an impressive Euros, then right, are we going to keep my man in the long term? Yeah, we have. Well, it's a consideration we have to think of. It's not being negative, but it's just reality. You can't, reality is not an obstacle. You can't put your head in the sand. So, for me, 9. Odegaard, I'd give a 6. Yes, he didn't create much, but he was trying, and I'll give him a 6. I've been reasonably impressed with him so far. I know he's not a long-term signing for us, but even still, I do like the way he tries to make through balls happen. So 6. Who was on the left? Smith Rowe. For me, it's probably a 2 or 3. I think Smith Rowe has a lot of potential, but I think he's young and he needs time to rest. He hasn't been on it for the past probably month or so. So for me, I'll give him a 3. I'll be generous. We won the game, so I'll be generous. Aubameyang. Tierney was boss, Saka was boss, but look, I'm going to mix some bias here off. Aubameyang is my favourite player in the team. He's our captain. He is, yes, I know this season he's not been the best, but for me, he still is a world-class striker. Yeah, he's answered some of the critics and he popped up when it was needed. So for me, my man gets a 9. Excellent brace, but yes, you can say his all-round game was limited, but I think that's more due to the if he plays on the left, then on the left he has to track back a lot more, link up with in the centre, and whoever playing in the number 9. But as a strict number 9, with energetic people like Saka, like ESR, like what's his name around him, you can afford to be a bit more central and a bit more passive. But he's, my man's in the team to score goals, and that's what he did. His movement was exceptional. So look, he's had a lot of critics, and rightly so. But as it stands now, you can't fault my man. So yeah, I'd have to say a 9. As for the subs, Willian, he did get the assist, but I do feel that other than that, I'd say a 3. Not because he got the assist, I'll be generous, I'll say a 4. Then, what's his name? Who else came on? Chambers. Chambers didn't do much. So I'd have to give him a 1. Who else came on? Oh yes, Partey. Partey I thought was alright. He was trying to make things happen, trying to control the tempo of the game in the middle of the park. So for him, I'd say I'll give a 5. Then who else? Damn, I can't even remember who came on. Was it El Neni? You know what? This just sounds bad, but I can't remember all the subs. When I watched the game, I genuinely can't remember all the subs. But as for Arteta, the Willian thing, bringing him on, yes, he got the assist, right? But I think Pepe's a better player, and it's really shocking that Pepe did not get some game time, because I think with Pepe's pace and trickery, if he put him on the left and he moved him inside, he would have linked up with Aubameyang, and I still think we may have gone on to win the game, or win the tie at least. So yeah, okay, that's all ifs and buts granted, but I do think that yeah, Willian should well, you can say it doesn't matter now, but Willian really, in my view, should not have come on. Yes, you can say it's a bit rich, like, yo bro, we won the game, why are you moaning? But I think the substitutions were made a bit reactively. I think what Arteta was thinking was, alright, cool. Yes, it's very poised at 1-1 at half time. The tie was literally equal. But he probably was thinking, alright, cool. And he probably was thinking, well, shit, it could go into extra time. So I can understand his rationale, whether to stick or twist. Definitely, their manager, is it George A. Jesus, whatever? It's something, I can't remember his name, to be honest, but definitely he attempted to twist. And yes, you can say it was because of our mistake that it almost paid off for them and for him, but I think we were just too clinical for them, and yeah, I think overall we did deserve the win. But to give Arteta a mark, I think tactically it was all right. I can understand, but I think it was more due to individual errors that almost nearly cost us. So if I had to give a remark, I would say probably I'm trying to think of a fair mark. I'll give him a 6. We did win the tie, and he can't be faulted for that individual error. That's very harsh to do that, in my opinion. So yeah, it's very harsh to do that, in my opinion. So yeah, I'll give him a 6. But yeah, other than that, it was a good. Well, we did get progress, and I think over both legs, I think we did play the more progressive football. And I think on that basis, we did deserve to win. I don't think what's their name, Benfica, have much complaints. You look at the first tie.
This place is heavily guarded.
You look at the first tie they had. It wasn't the best for them. Yes, they scored, but due to an error by Smith Rowe for the penalty. You look at the second leg, and yes, they scored twice, but one was a defensive error from Ceballos. The other one was a well-executed free kick, to be fair. And even then, you can question we shouldn't have given away that free kick. So, other than that, I think it was deserved over 2 legs. We were the better team, and that we were the more progressive team. So I've waffled on a lot. This is a long video. And to be honest, this may seem a bit unorthodox, but I just wanted to do this as I was playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla. You can check it out if you want. It's a very good game. It's an open world RPG. So for those who don't know, open world's not like the old school like platform where not just platform though. I shouldn't say that. That is one type of game. A lot of games like just have one level, but this is like literally an open world program, so you can walk around, explore, do whatever you want. It's not just on one strict level that you can only go. So yeah. So nothing waffling, and this is a very long video, but thanks a lot for your patience.